You're listening to Prosper in the Kingdom, the podcast where faith meets practical strategies to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Join hosts John Cleaver and Wendy Lee as they share insights to equip you in your journey toward abundance, spiritually, financially, and beyond. Just a reminder, every situation is unique. The content of this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as specific financial or medical advice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Prosper in the Kingdom, where we help everyday people just like you become healthy, wealthy, and wise through the 3M framework. I'm your host, John Cleaver, and I'm with the ever amazing and alpha female, Wendy Lee. Wendy, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Excited to be here. Excited about our topic. I have lots to say about today.
That's right. This is 2026, yo. I mean, we're here.
It is.
It's real. And it's our first week of the new year. Everybody's kind of getting back in the groove. And I'll be honest with you, I love Christmas, right? We're celebrating the birth of Christ, even though he was born in April. But, you know, it's one of those things that I love seeing people. I love the holidays and all the hubbub and stuff. But I'm so glad to get back into my routine and my mission in life, right? So, so welcome back, everybody. And hopefully you've got your goals set up for 2026. And getting your financial house in order is one of the top goals that we're going to be helping you with as we go through the year and continue to talk about this 3M wealth framework that we've been working on with you. And the last episode, we talk about the make phase, why income sets the ceiling kind of on everything else. But today, we're really going to dive in on the phase where most people either gain control or just quietly lose it and kind of take their eye off the ball. Because here's the truth. I mean, you can increase your income and still feel broke. I've been there, right? It's like, man, it's just making money. Where's it going, right? You can earn more and still feel stressed. I mean, you know, I've talked to people that are making multiple six figures and they're like, I'm still stressed out about money. Why? I thought when I hit X number, I was going to feel like all this pressure relief. And the reality is, I mean, you can make progress and still feel like unstable. Mm-hmm. Am I right on this one? I mean, jump in.
Yeah, it's very true. And you know, so you say, I mean, I know people that were making six figures a month and more stressed about money than anyone I knew. Like, it's like,
And that's reality. I know some of you may be out there, 6 figures a month. Who the hell makes 6 figures a month? There are a lot of people that do it. And you may be making, how do people get by on 6 figures a month too? Because we got a wide range of listeners. But that's why we're here talking about the blocking and tackling on your money. So if you're making multiple 6 figures a month, a year, or hey, I'm still trying to crack that 6-figure piece in my annual income, we're here to kind of guide you through that. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the manage phase, why cash flow, not income, but cash flow is the real king, and how management kind of stabilizes everything you're trying to build in your financial kingdom and getting your financial house in order, right?
Yeah.
So why more money doesn't automatically create peace? Because you think, okay, well, I'm cash strapped, and all of a sudden you get money, you would think like, hey, that
would be the solution to all your problems.
Right. But one of the biggest misconceptions about that is if I just made more, I'd finally feel in control. And I'll give you some quick, clear evidence on why that's a lie. Look at people who win the lottery. I just had the guy in Arkansas win that, 1 point whatever billion. Good for him. God bless him. Hopefully he uses the money. But most people who win the lottery within 5 to 10 years end up flat broke again, or worse off than they were before they won the lottery. And the reason is because they don't understand the basics of money, which is why we're here teaching you this stuff. But many people do make more and the stress follows with them. Why is that? Because income is simply potential. Okay. Cash flow is the reality of what's going on in your life. And if money's coming out, but this is coming in, but disappearing just as fast, nothing feels stable. Right. And, a lot of reasons happen for that. Right. Hey, I'm stressed out. I want to reward myself. Oh, I got a raise. I want to reward myself, or just flat up, lifestyle increase. Right. We talked about that in past episodes, but this is why the management becomes so critical for you and your long-term success. And this is the steady road, right? This is the steady upward progress towards true financial success. In reality, that success equals freedom. True financial freedom is really how you should read that. But, number one, we want to kind of focus in on no restrictive management and no obsessive tracking. I mean, this is where that management piece becomes so critical, but it's really about intentional alignment, right? And I wrote a verse here, Proverbs 27:23. Okay. Now we're talking about sheep, but equate that to money, right? So Proverbs 27:23, know well the condition of your flocks and give attention to your herds. Okay, meaning where's your money at, and give attention to your income streams and everything else. And it's not about hoarding. I want to be clear about that. It's about awareness. Most people, I used to be this guy, right? Wendy, I don't know if you relate to this, or listener, if you can relate to this, but most in my past, I was making money, felt okay, and it was like, hey, I'll be fine. And then if I did get stressed, I got to tighten up next month, not go crazy. But there's no real guidance, right? But here's the reality of it. I was being a horrible steward of my money, of God's money in reality. Let's be real, right? I was being a horrible steward because I didn't understand where my flock was. I didn't understand what was going on. I look up, yep, I got sheep. We're good. Let's keep going. That's not the way to live.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yep.
Am I wrong? What do you add to that?
Yeah, I mean, this was my whole issue is, thinking grind more, hustle harder, make more money, and all my problems will disappear. But, the Bible says whoever can be trusted with little can be trusted with much. If we're not able to manage what we have when we have it, more money creates more problems if you don't have it all running correctly. And I think that's why, especially in the network marketing space, that I've been in for the last 12 years, you see people, honestly taking a step back, it looks like they're chasing money because there was a time when in, network marketing, and that's where I come from. So that's what I know best, but in network marketing, where it was like, you could expect that your income was pretty steady or going to increase year over year. It's not that way anymore. The tides have turned, and now it's like because there wasn't that foundation in so many of these entrepreneurs out there of what to do with your money, that they thought it would just be I was one of them, thought it would be a never ending flow. And then what happens when wrench comes into the plans, and all of a sudden you don't have the cash flow that you used to have, or something comes up, and then all of a sudden it's a psychological thing too. People don't realize it's not just money in, money out, right? It's not just, money comes in, I manage it, and here's what. There's an emotional side to it too. When you have money coming in and then there's a disruption, when cash flow gets decreased or unexpected expenses come, there's, especially in the entrepreneur world, there's a feeling of defeat that then you're not showing up the same because you're in scarcity and in defeat. And so it creates a vicious cycle.
Scarcity
and so
mindset,
yeah. And that's where understanding how to manage your money. And I know people think, here, manage your money, and they get all, does that mean I have to, do no spend Saturdays or whatever? Or
I guess we're doing top ramen Tuesdays, right?
Yeah. Beans and rice, like, Mr. Ramsey will tell you to do, and never enjoying life again, saying no to everything forever. That's not what it's about, right? It's about putting a process in place, and managing your money is about directing your money. We are not, the word says the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money, meaning what it can do for you, worshiping money or thinking that money is the solver of your problems, when really, like you said earlier, we have to be stewards of our money, meaning we understand that God is the owner. We are the managers. We are the ones that direct it and have to tell it what to do. It's one of my favorite things hear you say is, if you don't tell your money what to do, it's going to run away from you. Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's the truth.
Yeah. So that money management is about direction and, digging in and saying, where is my money actually going? I mean, I was just talking to some ladies at a networking event this week that, about how all of a sudden we get things on subscription, and sometimes it's an annual subscription. Like I had a Microsoft charge pull up, and I don't even use Microsoft Office, and I just spent $180 on it. So there's so many ways that just money just seeps out. John calls it holes in your bucket, right? But where is your money actually going? What is actually helping you manage your money? How are you managing your money? How are you directing your dollars? Right? Understanding your cash flow. And why we said earlier, it's not about the income, it's about the cash flow, because it's income and expenses that are going to determine that margin that we have. But when we start understanding truly how to direct our dollars, how to tell, each dollar where to go, then we start to get that clarity. We start to get power over debt instead of letting it chain us. And that stress begins to go away. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big piece of it, right? Managing is one of those key things. It's how you start breaking that chain intentionally and progressively on the stress and everything else. Because when you start managing your money, and people think a budget, like you said, it's like, I don't want to do that. It's going to be, it means I'm no fun. No, that's why we call it a spending plan, because you want to make sure you have money to spend if you lose your job. You want to make sure you have plenty of money to spend in your retirement years. But that's why we don't talk at Prospering the Kingdom. We don't just talk about retirement. We talk about wealth, because we want you to access that money, not just in your 70s and 80s, but your 40s, 50s, and 60s, so you can truly build a financial empire and be a good steward of your money, not just for you, but the kingdom around you, the kingdom players around you, right? I was talking to somebody yesterday about, they were kind of struggling about money, and they went into the scarcity mindset mode, right? And it was like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if, at your church, because they're very involved in their church, if you could be a blessing to people that want to go on a mission trip but don't have the funds to do it, stroke that check. If you could be a fund on helping out with that children's expansion ministry, right? And that's where you start thinking about this. Again, it's the tool, but that managing piece works with the make piece we talked about last week, not instead of it, right? So it's not, okay, well, I'm not making enough money, so I want to manage it. No, I want to figure out that piece too, but I want to be a better steward with my money, not only for the kingdom, but for my family, right? I want to be able to have the ability to make sure there's food on the table if I lose my job or whatever the case may be. But that's where we're different, right? We don't say stop everything until your budget's perfect. No, it's a learning thing. Life's a fluid event, right? You're on a journey. It's not hopscotch where you go to one square and then figure that out and then go to the next one, right? It's a fluid journey. So when you stop everything else, you're wasting time, and you have a finite amount of time on this planet, right? You've got your journey, your mission, and you've got to figure out what your purpose is while you're doing all of this stuff as well. But make continues to build that income, manage, directs those new dollars intentionally, so they're not falling out of the holes in the bucket like Wendy was talking about earlier. And multiply continues quietly in the background. You planted your seeds in the ground, your money seeds, right? And that's where that's growing in the background while you're doing everything else in the front end. And what that's leading you towards is financial freedom. Right. And again, success doesn't equal more money. Success equals freedom. Okay. And I want you to hear me on that. Right. Management just simply assigns or gives assignments to that money. Right. Extra income doesn't, upgrade lifestyle first, which is what most of us go to. Hey, look at me. And so many people, you brought that up earlier. And I want the network marketers to listen to this. I want you to hear what Wendy said. Okay. That money that's coming in today, there is zero guarantee that's going to be there next month. Okay, zero. You sports players out there, my son's in sports and college athletes, there's a lot of NIL money being floated around. There is no guarantee that you're going to get that next year or even make it to the pro level. Do something with that now rather than just blow it. For you pro players out there, NFL stands not for long is what that stands for, right? And that's not a knock by any means. Don't take it as that. But you've got to understand that what you've got today is an opportunity to set your house, your family, your legacy up forever. Okay. Not to play around and expect it to be there tomorrow. Don't count your tomorrows because you don't know if you're going to get one, right? So, that extra income. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to add to that because, and I think, about the younger generation, those in their 20s right now that don't maybe have the student loan debt, but don't have any debt outside of that haven't purchased a house yet. And I remember getting those raises at work, like in my job, right? And going, oh, that means I can add this expense. Like that was literally my brain. Yeah, my brain was trained to go, oh, now I have more money per month to do more with for myself. And if we could just, help people understand, even, no matter where you are in life now, as you're older, you realize, man, I wish I would have done it different. But to realize that increase in income is not for an increase in lifestyle. It's for an increase in building something that will help you live the life you want down the road. Right. And it's not like putting off all good. Right. We talk to people, that we do financial plans and they're like, but I want to enjoy life. Right. So we want you to enjoy life, but we also don't want a hiccup to come and literally destroy your life, because that's, not literally, but you know what I mean? Financially destroy your life.
Well, it can. And people get stressed out about money. And that's the thing. The extra income, right? It's not there to upgrade your lifestyle, right? It's there to stabilize your cash flow. What does that equal? Less stress, right? Yeah. This also helps you reduce those obligations, paying off your debt, things like that, right? Because now it's freeing up more liquidity for you during each month, right? And it buys back that margin because you're paying off the debt and everything else. And so what it's doing is giving you breathing room. Okay. This is how momentum builds up without pressure. Okay. Make fuels manage, protects progress, right? And it leads into that freedom that Wendy's kind of alluding to, and I know she's got more to add to it, but it leads into that freedom that we all want. Again, success equals freedom.
Yeah. And as you learn how to handle your money, then you can be more intentional about decreasing the debt, right? Which then opens up more cash flow. Your decisions feel lighter. And you start to feel the difference, and not because everything's perfect, but because you're now being intentional. Even just setting up my funds. So we talk about the money split system. If you guys haven't watched that video, go Google that on our YouTube but to every dollar that comes in, right? You split it out by percentage, pick your percentages, but split it out by percentage and make sure you're not spending every dollar that comes in, right? When you have that intentionality, then there is freedom, right? And then as your obligations decrease, you naturally shift your capital. You have less money going towards debt. You get to then take more money towards saving and investing. Debt is literally the greatest scheme of the enemy to keep you all trapped, right? You all, myself, been trapped too. But that debt is literal handcuffs on our ability to serve and our ability to give back. And so
they are virtual chains. Sorry to interrupt, but I
know it's not literal. I know. I've said
no. No, I'm not saying no. They are literal chains. You just can't see them.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's a whole other podcast for a whole other day about our system. You said earlier you'd been indoctrinated or whatever you said about I can now afford more every month on this, right? That's how we're trained from a very early age. Okay. In middle class on purpose. Why? Because we're a consumer society. You look at all the commercials that are on TV, right? And it's one of those things that it's just like, it's a system set up against middle America, middle class. Why don't they teach us about money in school? There's a reason, right? Why do they set up, the commercials and stuff? Why are we approached with monthly payment, not total of payments when we buy something, right? It's crazy how we are challenged with that stuff, but I'm glad you're talking about it. But it is literally chains. You just can't see them, keeping you tied to that job that you hate, keeping you down, keeping you not going on those mission trips that you want to, keeping you away from your family because you've got to go. I did this. I traveled for years every week away from my family because I wanted to make sure we had the money. I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And, it turned out okay. But I look at how much greater it could have been. My kids love me, just for the record. But it's one of those things that I missed out on a lot. And, women who want to stay home with their families can't because, it takes two incomes now, because we don't understand how it all ties together. So I'll get off my soapbox, but no, I think that's a great point that you just added.
A scripture just to throw out there, Psalm 128:2. It says, "You shall eat the fruit of the labor of your hands. You shall be blessed, and it shall be well with you." So first of all, the first thing I hear is, you got to work the labor of your hands. You've got to work. You've got to put forth effort. You've got to be intentional. We live in a very much like a society, get rich quick, kind of like, what can I do, to make money fast? And God blesses the labor. God blesses the dedication, the commitment, the consistency. Management is how you start enjoying the fruit of your labor instead of just working for it. But the problem is we're out there laboring, toiling, and then when the blessing comes, we've already spent it. Right? And that's not God's design. So
no. Well, you think about that. A quick example on that too is, everybody's getting their taxes prepared, right? They're waiting on their W-2 so they can get the refund. And a lot of people, what are they going to do with that refund? Pay down debt. And it's like, so they already spent that money. It's gone, right? And so that's the cycle that we as Christians and we as Middle America need to help each other break out of. Okay. And it's through listening, sharing the podcasts and stuff, and then reading books or whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of information about money in the Bible. Read it, right? But it's one of those things that, it really kind of shines the light on why cash flow is the real king. Obviously, we're talking about money. I'm not talking about, Jesus is king. So I don't want my thing to blow up. Oh, you did say money's king. No, not at all. But cash flow, when it comes to your financial house, is more important than just the make part of it, right? And here's why, right? Income is important. I want everybody to understand if you can find ways to increase your income, fantastic. But assets are powerful. But cash flow determines your peace. Okay. And again, success equals freedom. Freedom equals peace, right? So cash flow is going to determine how resilient you are. How quick do you bounce back from a setback? Oh, I lost my job today. Some people, I've been there, absolutely devastating. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? It's like, oh, and there's a lot of that going on right now. When you've got, assets and cash and everything else, you got your cash flow tied down on lockdown, no extra debt and all that stuff. Oh yeah, it's a bump in the road. It stinks. Don't get me wrong, but we'll get through it, right? How confident do you feel? Like Wendy said earlier, right? You all of a sudden cash gets tight. You get that, I used to, with salespeople, I call it commission breath because you can tell they're trying to make a sale and they're like pushing hard. Translation, used car salesman. I'm not saying that all are like that, but that's the image that pops into my head. So it really impacts that confidence level that you have and how quickly you can adapt to change. Things change. For example, you look at most people in the W-2 corporate world, they're trying to build wealth, right? How many income streams do they typically have? One. Okay. Network marketers, you look at a lot of them, and some of them have multiple, but most of them, how many do they have? One. Okay. Especially if they go full time. And if something changes, jobs gets laid off or company gets shut down, or the comp plan changes. Hello, that happens all the time, right? And all of a sudden your income can be severely impacted. How quickly can you adapt? You go into panic mode or, do you pivot over panic, right? That's what I choose. But when your cash flow is aligned, money stops feeling chaotic. It's a tool, guys. That's all it is. It's a piece of paper. Reality, that's what it is. I mean, the government just prints more of it when they need it. You and I, we can't do that, right? So what do we got to do? We got to go get a side hustle, whatever. But the big piece of the pie that is overlooked, again, is that managed piece. And this is where Multiply can eventually scale safely and confidently. So, I mean, again, just add it. So when you wrap us up, let's talk about some closing points.
Yeah, I would just say that, if you're making money but still feeling super stressed out, which I know a lot of you are. I mean, I have these conversations regularly.
We have them every day.
Every day. It's not like an issue with your effort. It might not even be an issue with your income. It's most likely about management and understanding what to do with your money. So, ask yourself these questions. Do I know where my money is going? Is my cash flow intentional? Or is it just at the end of the month, you're like, oh crap, I'm upside down, right? And am I assigning dollars or am I reacting to them? So if you guys want clarity around this, we've built a simple starting point for you. You can get your free, I call it a wealth map. We call it a free financial roadmap, but safemoneyroadmap.com will take you. It's going to ask you a few questions. It'll get you on our calendar so we can give you a free roadmap to show you how to get from where you are today to where you want to be in the future.
Wait. How much did you say that was?
It's free. It's a complimentary service for our listeners.
So here's the thing, folks. It's free. And I don't mean to interject, but I just, I'm scratching my head, especially as we go into the new year. Get your financial house in order. Get a free roadmap with us. Get it from somebody. A lot of people are going to charge you, but no strings attached. Hey, that's part of our mission. We're trying to help people out, man. So go ahead, Wendy.
It's amazing to me, like how hard. I mean, it was even hard. Let's go back. It was even hard for me to get my free roadmap from you.
Yep.
Because why? Because we're afraid to look at our dang money.
Yeah.
Do you know
that'll means make the problem go away?
Yeah. Do you know that means you're making the money a god in your life if you're not willing to like take control of it? Just saying.
Yeah. Ooh, deep. Man, she went deep on that, folks.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, can I just be real for a minute?
It
frustrates the crap out of me when people don't have their money right. And then I ask them about getting a financial plan and they're like, we have somebody. Well, you have somebody, but you're still stressed out. So what about that? Or you ask them if they want to get a financial plan. They're like, well, I need to get things in order first. Like, that's literally the point. That is literally what we're trying to help you do.
Man, I'm having chest pains. I think I'm having a heart attack. We should go to the doctor. No. Let me get this heart thing going first, and then I'll go to the doctor.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
folks,
we don't want to.
Go ahead. No, so it's one of those things that it's like we're not trying to shake a finger or shake it, but it's literally we all are in a similar situation, folks. Okay, times are tight right now. We know it. We talk to people every day. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Okay, you don't have to ask us, but ask somebody. And for those of you out there, when you made a comment, right? Okay, if you're stressed about money and things like that, and you've got a financial person, okay, maybe it's time to get a new financial person because you don't have a coach. You got somebody taking your money and putting it into X, Y, or Z, and they're not really coaching you on what's going on. It's time to get a new coach. Yeah, well, I didn't want to say that, but yeah, it's time to get a new coach. Okay, take a look at us. If we're that person, fantastic. If not, no big deal. But really take control. Make 2026 your breakout year for your financial freedom. Okay. And just really own it. Watch some of our videos. And if you're a 1099, something like that, where you're or self-employed and you're always stressed about money because great months, it's always feast or famine. I talk to realtor clients. I'm like, let me show you a little trick. Okay. Oh my gosh, John, how come I don't know that? Well, number one, they're not going to teach it to you at school. That is the money split system that Wendy was talking about earlier. Watch that video. Okay. It made my life 10 times easier before I got everything else done just by, managing the money as it comes in and kind of putting it into different buckets. So anyway, look, the whole point of this is it's not about restriction. It's about stewardship, right? It's about alignment and it's about momentum. And most of all, we want you to have success with your money, freedom with your money, and push money to the side and bless others with it, right? Because it is simply a tool. So next episode, we're going to dive a little bit more into multiply and talk about how to grow wealth intentionally without rushing or risking everything. Okay. There are actually ways to get market-driven returns and not worry about the market downside. It's real. We'll talk about that a little bit. But folks, we went a little long today, and I think the new year, we're kind of a little snarky today. I don't know. I'm feeling it. But,
you know what? I think it's necessary.
No, I do. Sometimes you need to just, hey,
we need some real talk. There's enough fluff in the world.
Man, isn't that the truth? So look, we're going to talk about this, but we want to work with you and help you keep building. So let's keep building the right way, right? So do us a favor, show us a little love, give us a thumbs up, give us a share, make a comment. We'd love to hear some comments. And if you've got a topic you want to talk about that you don't get or whatever, I had a great conversation with a client of mine. Their oldest child's about to buy their first house, got married, just had a new baby, saved up, and now they're getting ready to buy a house. And I'm like, I spent 20 years in mortgage. Let's talk. I don't do mortgages, but I don't want them to get taken to the cleaners. And I started pointing out some stuff like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. That's what we're here for. So watch the videos, listen to the podcast, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. And welcome to 2026, folks. We're here to help
you
succeed.
financial roadmap.
Get your financial roadmap, right? And we'll see you next week on another Prosper in the Kingdom. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Prosper in the Kingdom. If this episode added value to your day, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with someone who could use the encouragement. For more resources, head to prosperinthekingdom.com. Let's continue building lives of purpose and abundance, one step at a time.